Hate can only divide us further. Hate is the only force that's going to divide and create more confusion, more violence, more separation on this planet. And we're seeing it on display right now. My intention with this video is just to share my perspective and stand in solidarity, stand in brotherhood with all the people suffering right now and all the people in the United States that are afraid and in inquiry and trying to understand how we can stop tragedies and systemically at the root affect society. Not just trimming the leaves, not just firing a few cops to prevent another George Floyd and to prevent another atrocious loss of civil liberties and to continue the hatred of racism and separation that we see so clearly. And I'm here as a humble student and as a voice using my platform to increase awareness and to share this conversation because I can feel my heart heavy, not knowing what to do this past week, not knowing what to say, how to show up for my Black brothers and sisters, not knowing how to show up and speak to my white brothers and sisters in the white community about how we don't look away from this beast, we don't look away from this dragon, this evil that is still clearly living in our world and in our country. And that being said, I think the way the media and a lot of the people that are parading and putting this on display and having the frenzy of hate mongering and politics involved, I don't think that's useful either. So this is a call out and an ask. This is a question to all of you. How do we have this conversation? How do we have the uncomfortable conversation about fragility around identity, right? I'm a white man. You're a Black woman. You're a Chinese man. You're a Hispanic woman. How do we have this conversation as privileged, blessed people with access to this technology and this beautiful thing called social media that we can use to spread and make awareness? So I'm in deep inquiry. Like, how do we show up and have the conversation about racism? And not just racism and white versus Black, but the conversation about the systemic oppression that is oppressing all people. The oppression that's on all of us. Like, can we turn away from brother fighting brother and sister attacking sister and turn towards the actual beast that's stirring it up and sending it out at us? I don't have the answers. I'm asking an inquiry. I want to understand where people are and where they're feeling and where their heart is and where their mind is going when atrocities like this happen. And just please, I'm asking you in your community to have these conversations. If nothing else, just start the conversation. Have the conversation with your community. If you're a community leader, if you have a tribe that's following you, whether that's a business or an organization of any kind, please do the hard thing and have the conversation. And it helps to look inside of ourselves, look inside myself. Where am I still supporting colonization, racism, oppression of people of color and of all earth nations? How am I adding to that? And then if I discover something, how can I rid myself of that? And then come with open arms, open palms, in gratitude and humility to offer my gifts, offer my heart back to those communities so we can rebuild these bridges, the rainbow tribe on the planet, Black, red, white, yellow, brown. How do we build in the bridge system and the network so we can be in unity again and unify against the forces of darkness? Because that is what I see happening right now. We're at a choice point on the planet. We have to unify back against these forces of systemic oppression. The same forces that colonized America and wiped out indigenous people, the same forces that brought in slavery and oppression, the same forces that economically are hurting the poor and the weak and the sick. These are the enemies. And there's no way to mince this in a nice way. when we see Black men being killed in the streets and filling prisons. It's a painful reminder, and it's a painful clarion call, and it's a painful wake up, especially to you out there, you brothers, you powerful brothers, whether you're white, black, yellow, brown, purple, or blue. How do you be a leader as a man? How do you be a king and show up in solidarity for your women, your children, your other brothers and sisters? What are we going to do? I think it starts with having the conversation. I think it starts with humbling up and admitting the places that I may be supporting the white supremacist, colonization, dark forces of invasion that are rampant on the planet right now. And then the good news is that we have the technology, we have the tools, we have the community, we have the wisdom and the knowledge of all the ancestors. We have all the modern toys and tools to flip the narrative. We can flip this narrative right now. It's a critical moment. And I'm asking all of the brothers and sisters out there in the Black community to please help us rebuild the bridge so we can team up together against this thing. And we need each other's support. I know we need each other. And I don't know exactly how to do that. So I'm asking and praying and holding the vision for a way to do that. So we can walk in the footsteps of all the heroes and the saints that have walked before on this path of bringing rights back to humanity and bringing rights back to people that have been disenfranchised so they can join in this fight against evil. And so a few things, if you're triggered by the looting and rioting and how people are expressing all this pent-up rage and hatred due to this killing right now, if you're more concerned about the looting than the murder of George Floyd and the oppression, you have something to look at. I see conservative pundits on blast on Twitter shitting on looters and saying this is making it worse and this is proving that this community's fucked up. If that is a stance that you have something to look at. If you think that there's any justification at all, if you think it's possible that there's any justification that a man is literally suffocated and crushed to death in the street while people watch, and there's somehow that like that can't be helped and that's part of the job as a cop and you're on the side of that oppression, you have something to look at. If there's any part of you that thinks that race wars are coming and that this is necessary and this is a part of some grand plan of Trump or any other political personage, you have something to look at. I'm just asking you to be more human, get in touch with your humanity and stand up and get angry. Anger is okay right now. Sacred fucking rage, it's not okay. I can only imagine what it's like being a person of color right now who's afraid to even go out in the street and walk and be seen or drive to the store. And if you're a person who's in privilege and is in a middle-class white America setting, or like me, a digital nomad who's enjoying entrepreneurship in the world, please use your voice. This is my intention, is please use your voice. Please use your voice to speak up against oppression. And get on the side of the ones that are oppressed and the ones that are hurting, not on the side of the ones passing the laws and trying to quell the riots and bring more violence to the people. This is about the people. This is about all of us. It affects all of us. It affects your whole community. So please be a voice for that. That's all I'm asking, and that's all I'm here to pray with you for that vision. Even when it's this hard and hatred's this high, it's more important than ever to have these conversations. And that's my wish for you.